Because you see, the job originates with the hiring manager, right? If you're a manager, say you're the head of a department of engineers, the engineering department, right, in a company, and you're the head of the engineering department. So you decide, okay, we have so much work, we're going to need to hire another engineer, permanent, full-time, because we have too much jobs coming in, too much demand. I've been trying to run the place with overtime, but even that's really, it's not sustainable. And, we're still maxed out. We need to hire another permanent engineer. So that's the engineering manager that comes to that conclusion, right? They ask their bosses, they say, look, I need to hire another guy or another person. Do we have that in the budget? They say, sure, yeah, go ahead. You're going to offer them this much standard amount. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, we'll just fill in the form, send it to me this afternoon, and then, go and hire the next person. So they go, okay, great. So now I got to hire someone. Now they're an engineering manager. They have to deal with engineering, the designs and managing this team, right? They don't have extra time to go and sit in job interviews, write job descriptions, all this kind of stuff. So one way or another, they get the services of a recruiter. The recruiter is someone they hire. Either it's an internal person or you can hire an external recruiter. That's how a lot of smaller companies do it. That's how I did it. And, they do all the grunt work. It's like you say, okay, listen, here, I want to hire an engineer. They need to have this degree. They need to have this, maybe say 2 years experience, whatever. Go get me some candidates that have all of those. You coordinate the interviews, set up the interviews. You do an initial round, like a filter. I'm not interested in talking to people that don't understand what the job is, that are not engineers, that got fired from every job they ever had. Give me some good quality candidates. When you've filtered them, set up the job interviews. Let me know where they are. I'll attend, and then I'll make a final decision with you. Right? So that's the process. So the recruiter is very much a grunt. They have to. They're given a list of requirements by a hiring manager, and their job is to go out and find a bunch of qualified candidates that have every single one of those. That's what they have to do. In reality, they're given here are the hard requirements and here are the nice to haves, right? And that's what they do. They set up the meetings and they do all the screenings and they do the background checks and they check references and blah, 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 all that grunt work. The job originated with the hiring manager. Now, if you could talk to the hiring manager, imagine if, right at the time when the hiring manager realized I need to hire another engineer, and let's pretend you're a fully qualified engineer, and you sent a message to that hiring manager saying, hey, I'm here. I can do this. I solve this problem. And if ever you're looking for a fully qualified engineer, let me know because I'd love to work for your company. I know you guys do this particular type of work. I think that's very exciting. I live very close by. Let me know if ever you're hiring. Thanks and have a great day. Imagine if that landed in the hiring manager's lap right at that time, coincidentally, right? They would probably want to just bring you in. They'd probably respond, hey, are you free? Do you want to grab a coffee? I might have something, I'm not sure. Right? Let's maybe talk about it. Something like that. Right? So that's the idea behind it. That's how you tap the hidden job market before the job even gets posted. Right? But the hiring manager knows they have to hire another person. Right? They don't want to deal with recruiters. They don't want to deal with hiring. It's yet another chore that they don't have time for. Right? First they think, do I know anybody? Then they think, is there some internal candidate I can move up or move sideways into this role that I know? They're tried and true. And then they think, okay, I'm going to go talk to HR. Do they have any resumes on file of fully qualified engineers that want to work here that we've already spoken to? They're the runners up for some other job, but they'd be good for this one. No? Okay. Then we have to post it, right? But during that process, you land in their lap. Maybe you do an informational interview with them, right? So they meet you and they see that you're professional, you're easy to deal with, you're charismatic, you got great communication skills, you know your stuff they can tell by the conversation, You can get in there. That's a very popular way of tapping the hidden job market, right? They hired you. Why not?